Hey everybody, I'm Faith, and I have Down syndrome. But our podcast is not really about that exactly.
And I'm Andrea. I'm friends with Faith. Our podcast is about conversations and connections.
It's about how we are the same and how we are different.
For each episode, Faith and I interview a different guest. Some of our guests experience intellectual and developmental disabilities, also known as IDD, and some don't. We talk about friendship, family, adulthood, and, when it comes up, disability.
Our podcast is called Everybody In because we are so interested in everybody.
So let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Moore, one of your hosts for Everybody In, a podcast conceived and produced by the Wayfaring Band. And I have heard it said that Faith is the quiet cousin of courage. And that may or may not be true. Let's find out what else she is. Hi there.
Hi, Andrea. I am Faith Vidrain. I am Andrea's co-host. So everybody, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for joining us. Faith and I are excited. This is going to be a really fun show. We have one of our best friends in the studio. Who is with us today, Faith?
Bethany Potter.
Love this woman. She changed my life. She opened my heart, my eyes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm ready. I'd be gushing about Bethany forever if you don't cut me off. So what's up?
It's okay. I was just going to ask, what is the format between you and Bethany?
Okay. Thank you. The format between me and Bethany is I basically think we all just need to get to know her. Mm-hmm. So I am going to just ask her all of the questions. We like to say that I ask 5 questions, but really it ends up being like 45 because I ask so many follow-up questions. But we're going to get to know her. We're going to talk about friendship, work, life, love, relationships, jobs. Did we already say that? That was work. Yeah, we're going to kind of just ask her all kinds of things. And then at the very end, we'll give her a chance to ask you and me questions if she has anything that she wants to know too. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Well, let's get into it.
Alrighty.
And so
welcome, Bethany.
Welcome, Bethany.
Thank you, Andrea, the lovely Moore, and Faith. Let us give her whole Faith the Vidrine.
The Faith the Vidrine. Thank you, Bethany. So Bethany, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We want to know, how old are you? Where do you live? Any recent updates in your life? What's going on? Who are you, Bethany?
My name is Bethany Potter. I'm 33 years old. I am a person with cognitive differences and being exceptional. I live in Denver, Colorado. And as for any new stuff, well, I'm living the life in a certain part of Converge with the Wayfaring Band.
I love it. She's living the life in a certain part of Converge with the Wayfaring Band. And the reason it's kind of a weird certain part is because we're up in a sound booth, right? The Wayfaring Band is based in a co-working space in Denver called Converge Denver. And we are up in the sound booth recording our mysterious podcast. Well, thank you, Bethany. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First question was the same question we ask all of our guests, right, Faith?
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually want to ask it? Because you know the one that we always ask first.
Well, if you want to take a lead on this.
You don't mind?
I don't mind.
All right. But Faith and I both always ask our guests the same question. We always ask, who is your best friend and why are they special?
In the band members, well, of course, everyone is my friend. I love them a lot. If I pick one person, I pick someone in a sound booth named Faith the Vidrine.
So you think so you would say Faith is your best friend?
I have to say yes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not try to play favoritism because I do like her.
Okay, good. And so when you said earlier among the band members, so meaning other people who travel with the Wayfaring Band, what about in your whole life? If we look at your entire life, is Faith the person you would say is your number one best friend in the whole world, or do you have another best friend?
I do have other best friends, but with a band, I'm just gonna pick her because she's awesome, pretty, and just bringing on the faith.
Oh yeah, bring in the faith. We have talked about that before. What about beyond the Wayfaring Band? So that's great. So we'll take it. Faith is a good answer. What about beyond the Wayfaring Band? Do you want to share anything about any other best friends you have?
If I pick someone like, say, Andrea Moore, then I would say, yep, she is love is the name because she brings the love. She is the boss. She is the boss, and I love her a lot to be part of her world. If we have someone that used to be here, because that person is on Facebook a lot, because he's expanding his horizons.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Pavel Whippo. I do miss him a lot. And I do like Chandrell. He is crazy.
Well, let's go back. So you've got Pavel Repo, who's one of the original co-founders of the Wayfaring Band. So that's awesome. And you've got Chandel, who is a roadie with the Wayfaring Band. So a lot of people in this community, which is cool. I mean, this is awesome to hear that within our community, you have a lot of people that you would consider to me among the best of your friends. What is it that when you think about Pavel or Chandel or myself or Faith, the other people you've listed, what makes a best friend special? When you think about each of those people, what makes those people special to you?
Special is one of the strong words because special just means they're in your life, they're right beside you, they care, they are like a pillar.
A Peter, is that what you said?
Okay. I was about to say a pillar.
A pillar. A pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're standing strong.
Oh, great.
And, well, they're like a work of art.
Oh, my. Well, you can be my best friend any day, Bethany. I would love to be called a work of art. That's awesome. Faith, was it a surprise for you to hear that from Bethany?
Yes, it was a surprise.
How does it feel?
Well, when she said, well, I remember of her saying all list of best friends is awesome. But it's always nice to hear someone say that for the first time.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Bethany. Let's move on to our second question. Our second question, you have heard before, but I'm curious to hear your response today, if it's changed. If you could be an animal other than a human, what animal would you be and why?
Since this is a podcast, pause for effect.
Since this is a podcast, pause for effect. Love it.
A tiger.
I'm not surprised. Tell us why.
Because I can give you the eye of the tiger. Because I can roar.
Let's hear it.
And yes, I can do louder.
I do it louder. Let's hear
No.
it. Faith says no. I'm ready. Go for it.
Oh, gosh.
Faith is taking off her headphones. Okay, go. Ready? It's not too bad, Faith. Don't worry. That was very good, though. What is it about tigers, Bethany, that you relate to?
Well, for my favorite cat, one of my horoscopes.
Hmm.
And
Because what horoscope do you have?
okay, basically I am mostly a Scorpio.
Okay.
But really in the Chinese horoscope, I'm a tiger.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm a goat. Go figure. What are you, Faith?
Well,
Do you know?
I have to say a lion, and the reason why, because my birthday sign is always a Leo, because they're always generous, very special kind of lion.
And that's for the regular zodiac calendar, but what about the Chinese zodiac? Do you know what you are on that one?
No.
We'll have to look you up. What year were you born?
87.
Okay. Listeners, if anyone off the top of your head knows what 1987 is in the Chinese calendar, we'll have to look that up afterwards. But okay, so yeah, you're a Leo. I'm a Leo too. You're a Scorpio, Bethany, but then a tiger. And so tell us more about tigers and what you connect with them about.
Technically, they're part of the circus, but not too derogatory. So the reason why they're part of the circus is because they are one of the main felines of on top of the Pride Rock. And by Pride Rock, even though that's mostly on the lions, but tigers follow through because they're like the lion's best friend.
The lion's best friend. Well, there you go. Reinforces our earlier theme. Excellent. All right, I have another big question for you. So, Bethany, sometimes on the show we do talk about disability, and I'd like to know from you, what does that mean to you? What are some of the ways that having Down syndrome affects your life?
The word of disability is actually on the DIS, that is like dating someone. But in order not to go down, it's to go up, which means up ability, which means positivity and put on a smile on your face.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way that we know is the quirks that we have and how we deliver that. Like say, if I have a quirk of, well, thinking differently, like say in song titles, that's one of my quirks, because that's how I wrote down in a notebook, let's say for curriculum or something I did in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's how I can gather information about a certain workshop or a special day.
Mm-hmm. Let me pause you right there just so I can give some context for our listeners who don't know as much about what you've been up to. So what I heard you say is that the word disability, the dis in disability is like dissing someone. So that could be, it's like putting somebody down sometimes. And so the opposite would be up ability, where it's like being more positive and kind of putting a positive spin on things. But when you think about disability or having Down syndrome, it's about quirks that you might have. So I heard you talking about one thing that you do that you said is a quirk, which is to think in terms of song titles, right? So you said during curriculum or when we were in Atlanta, Georgia. So Bethany and I actually, with some other folks that we know, attended a grassroots fundraising conference in Atlanta, Georgia, a little bit earlier this year. And so when you were doing the workshops for that, or when we're doing the leadership curriculum, when we're actually traveling with the Wayfaring Band, so during those times when you're trying to make sense of what you're listening to, you write in your book, and oftentimes you will write in song titles. Is that right?
That is true. And sometimes of a example, like say if I was write down Warwick by Katy Perry, or There's Nothing Holding Me Back by Shawn Mendes, or some other song title that is like on the theme line. No, I can say something like that. If I'm wide awake from the bed from this event, because there's nothing holding me back, because I'm having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, well, there's nothing I can do. It's all good.
Yeah. So you're saying that the name of that title of that song, There's Nothing Holding Me Back, you might quote that song in order to explain that you're having a good day and that you're feeling free.
Right.
Have you ever done that, Faith? Have you ever done that kind of a thing? Like, do you ever think of song titles that way to explain how you're feeling?
Yes, there's some songs. So one of the songs I'm thinking of is like Hannah Montana. You know, like so her song is like Nobody's Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Bethany's resonating with that. I'm just saying that Bethany's kind of like nodding her head. Okay, so you know that song too, Bethany?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
So, like, saying, like, nobody's perfect is like doing stupid things or doing a mistake or something.
And so when you hear the song Nobody's Perfect, it reminds you that
Yes.
other people have had that experience too.
Yes.
And it's okay to make a mistake.
Yes.
That's cool.
And, like, I just did a mistake of falling. So.
You did? When? Recently?
Yeah, recently.
Me too. Actually, I was, when was it? It was like last week. I went with my friend Megan down the street to get lunch. And we were walking back. There was this little curb that was only about 1.5 inches high. And I didn't see it. I thought it was a flat surface. And I ate it hard. I fell down hard. I'm lucky I didn't break anything. Accessibility. Get rid of those curbs.
Lucky for you, you didn't get a scrap.
Did you?
Like one on my thumb.
Oh, that's right. You had
Yeah.
that kind of big fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Faith is showing me a Band-Aid on her thumb. And then you got a scrape on your knee and on your leg and stuff. But so are you telling me, Faith, that when you listen to that song, it makes you feel okay about falling down?
Well, like all different stupid things.
Uh-huh.
Like falling down or tripping over things, not listening to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bethany, what about for you? Can you give us some examples of some other song titles that are meaningful for you? Like, are there certain titles that when you're writing, you use again and again?
At times, yes, I do. And one of them is Stuck With You. And that is a theme song from the show called Stuck in the Middle. And I love all the cast members, especially Isaac personally. It's not just because he's attractive, it's because he is a person and has opinions. And yes, you can subscribe to his vlogs on the computer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And also On Top of the World by Junie or Jeff Cameron or just simply just say Get a Clue.
Okay, Get a Clue. That's a good one too. So do you find, Bethany, how do you feel about that quirk, as you call it? Do you think are you happy with the way that you use music to help make sense of your experiences?
Actually, I do. And I really like that.
Yeah. It's kind of cool about you, I think. It's something I've known that you do for a long time. You also write in your diary every day. Is that accurate?
It's mostly a journal, and
Okay.
and if someone says it's a diary, then I will keep it as a secret.
Oh, so diaries would be more secret, but journals are not secret. Is that how you think of it?
It is how people can describe it in their own way.
Uh-huh.
Because secret it is a song too, and that's from the Pussies, and that's the theme song to the show that's called Pretty Little Liars that used to be on ABC Family Freeform, and it may not be on TV anymore, but you can still go to ABC Family Freeform on the computer to watch the reruns. So,
Oh, she's got the workaround. She's figured out how to hack it.
so basically, when it comes to anything like in music, especially in a sound booth, that means I'm definitely free.
And just, ABC is not one of our sponsors. We would love for ABC to be a sponsor if they're interested. But
Right. Old Disney Channel.
Or the Disney Channel. Sure. I'm sure they've got some money to spare. We'll take it. Bethany, while we're talking about some of these things so one of the things we talk about a lot on the show is what makes us different and what makes us the same. What are some of the things that make you feel different from other people around disability or not? It could be anything. Just what are some of the things that make you feel different?
Well, for one thing, Will the Same is a song from The Lion God. Thank you.
Okay.
And that was I'm just like the same. It's because it's not about a specific dream or a goal, because that is why I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like me and you. You are it's me. We have We can wear the exact same shoes or go to the exact same hairdresser, and if we are different, then that is how we stand out to be our own individual self. So how I'm different other people that has a cognitive difference or not, because is why I am a person that can talk to and be a friend and well just be awesome.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm understanding. So what I hear you saying is that the way that you're different is the way that anyone is different from anyone else. That like you might go to a different hairdresser or buy different shoes. Like your personality is what makes you different. But then I'm hearing you now talk a lot about how you're the same. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so tell me more about how you feel the same as other people.
Uh, just because we are part of this world and how we go through our lives very differently, because we live in a different state or a different country or a different part of town, or better yet, have a different name.
Even just something as simple as having a different name. Right.
Right.
But then we're all going through this life thing together. Right.
Right.
So what bugs you and this is something that Faith and I have discussed before, but I think sometimes people who don't have a disability or a cognitive difference, as you said when you were telling your own identity, you said cognitive difference. So for somebody who's neurotypical, so that's somebody who doesn't have a diagnosed cognitive difference, right? So if someone's neurotypical, I think a lot of neurotypical people I think they have some annoying behaviors. Like I have some annoying behaviors that I had to get rid of. Like one of them is treating adults with disabilities like they're kids, right? Like that's something that happens a lot. What are some of the things like that, Bethany, that maybe bug you, or what do you notice about? Do you ever get treated differently by people because of your disability?
Not exactly as much to people that had a lot of those, and most of them is from our day program, and they're completely different, especially on their own cognitive differences. Well, there is this one person that always go in outbursts and always trying to prove that person wrong by saying they're right. But if I have that, I actually really don't though. I just go with the flow and everything else. If I have a behavior thing, well, I'm not even sure if I do, because I'm this different kind of cognitive person.
I'm going to push back a little bit though, because remember there's one time that you and I talked about, we were talking about microaggressions, right? Which is when somebody says something to you that they think is casual, they think it's no big deal, but it actually kind of hurts. And if people say those types of things to you a lot, the hurt can pile up and then it can be really painful, right? So when we had that conversation, you gave me some examples of things that people do to you that they're not trying to hurt your feelings, but it's kind of annoying. Can you tell me what some of those things are?
It's kind of like when guys can just look on the girls like, oh, so you in that, so that's your number. Or the reason why.
Meaning like judging them for their looks, like, oh, she's an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so that's when you hear guys judging women on their looks, that bugs you. Okay, that's a good example. That bugs me too. What else?
Even though I'm mostly on the female discrimination area, and there's many things like say, oh, so you have to throw a softball kind of wiggle, or
like a girl, you throw like a girl.
Or basically, on the huge one, it's like, oh, okay, so if this girl has a crush on a guy, or guy has a because all girls like, oh, that's just cute, or 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 if this is just another fantasy or crush. Yeah. So yeah, that does hurt too.
And do you feel like for that one in particular that people don't take your crushes seriously? Is that when somebody says to you, "Oh, that's so cute," does it hurt because they're not taking you seriously, or what hurts about it?
It's just the reason why it always does bugs me about when people of how people say that just stings.
It stings of how they say that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come right back. The Wayfaring Band is not a rock and roll band, are we, Faith? So what type of band are we?
We are a band of travelers.
Travelers, right. So the Wayfaring Band takes original, transformative adventures that include adults with and without cognitive and developmental disabilities. But anybody can come on a trip with us, right, Faith?
Yes.
Like who?
Everybody.
Like everybody?
Yes.
Well, as long as they're a grown-up.
Yes.
They have to be a grown-up because we work with adults.
Well, an adult everybody.
An adult everybody. So if you're an adult everybody, you're welcome to join the Wayfaring Band on tour. If you're a caregiver, a student, a teacher, a professional, an activist, an interested adult everybody community member, all of you are welcome to join the Wayfaring Band on tour and experience our culture of inclusion firsthand. Be a part of it. How can they learn more, Faith?
Learn more at www.thewayfaringband.com.
Welcome back to Everybody In. Bethany, do you work?
Well, the job I go through is completely different than the Wayfaring Band kind of work. Even though I may work for some other company that's called Sustainability Ministry Gray, and yes, you can go to the website.
And you said it's called Sustainability.
Yes, and that is the person that you definitely look up. And yet, we do recycle stuff, like say sorting, going out to the community. When something is hard to recycle, you should go to H2R.
When something's hard to recycle out in the community, when people are having a hard time recycling something, they would give it to your company?
Okay, basically the answer is, I do go to work. It's called Sustainability. The person that kills it is Mr. Gray. Yes, you should go to the website, and when I give myself to Sustainability, yes, yep, I do pay in sweat. Yep, I do pay in sweat. and anyway, once I use
you pay it in sweat,
and yet the sweat actually got me to kind of lose the weight, and also it feels like really good when you really working for something that you do care about. Like say, if I am working for the Wayfaring Band, I'll definitely give and then get. Like say if you get a present for Christmas, like say, yes, I'm getting this present, but I'm also receiving. So basically, that's what I'm kind of doing in the Wayfaring Band. I'm giving and I'm receiving sweat, desperation, being dehydrated, or typically just, well, okay, yes, you should definitely follow your heart and part of your head. I'm always in my head anyways, so I'm actually kind of not overthinking things, because that's one of my biggest burden, because I'm
one of your biggest burdens is overthinking things.
Yeah.
I hear that. I double up on that. Me too.
Yes. So if I'm overthinking things, it just gives me more overthinking, but I need to get out with it. So if I'm like out with it, it feels like way better. It feels like way better. It's like when you try to tell a lie, but you want to tell the truth. It's like, there it is. The truth that comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. When you let it out, the truth comes out. And it feels way better that way. So Bethany was talking a lot about, putting in, well, really kind of blood, sweat, and tears. But you were saying when you put something in, you get something back, and that feels good to you. I also want to talk about other places where maybe we're not always included, but where it feels good to be included. So, like, I want to talk about transportation a little bit and about what it takes to feel free. So, Bethany, you said you're 33 years old.
Right.
So, what do you need as a 33-year-old woman? Do you feel like you have the tools to get where you want to go and do what you want to do? And if not, what stands in your way?
Well, I am independent, and I do have the tools and the trade. It's just the only thing that's in the way is go to and from activities. As much I do have my personal money, but really some other money is kind of in the way too.
Some of the money is in the way, meaning that there's a financial burden that keeps you from doing everything you want to do?
Right.
Okay, I think we can all relate to that for sure. I definitely feel like there's some things I would do if I had more money. But where does your money come from?
It's mostly it's from my paycheck stubs that goes into the bank, and once it's in the bank, yes, I can make a withdrawal and know how much money I want to buy, like a drink or a class. But really, as much I love money that is out of my hands, I buy something that I want to. But when it comes to other stuff, like say a trip or anything, I think it's kind of best to invest it in something. But really, it's mostly something that I needed that that does cost a lot. Like say, of what I just said before, like say a trip or go to the movies or anything that says that is a problem with money, because money is more in the man's world, and I'm a female, so when it comes to females, yeah.
Wait, let me ask you about that. So you feel like money, the area of money is mostly in the man's world, and that being a woman, what do you feel about being a woman in terms of managing your own money?
Okay. While you're trying to finish that sentence too, another question, because for us females, it is a struggle anyways, especially if we're just coming to America or some other country, and people might look at you different, or say another microaggression label when it comes to other females that are in Colorado. They might well just take your accent for something that says, "I'm not being serious here. I know I cannot pay the rent or anything because of my accent, because no one can't understand what I just said."
Okay. This is super interesting. So what I'm hearing you say, and just let me know if I'm missing anything, but you're saying it's not just being a woman, but it's also being an immigrant from another country or having a strong accent that it can be hard even to pay the rent if somebody says, I can't understand what you just said.
That reminds me because
Go ahead. Yeah.
I also have a friend of mine. She comes with one of my providers. I go on Tuesdays, and she also has disability as well, but she came back from Iran, I think. So she speaks like a little bit of Farsi. Yes. So it's really hard to understand about her. Like she talks really fast. Like when she's talking really fast between English and Farsi, it's really hard to understand.
And does that remind you? So Bethany, do you think that's kind of an example of what you're talking about? That what I hear Faith saying is that it is different if what we're hearing or experiencing is something different than our usual comfort zone, that it can be a challenge, right? It can be hard to bridge the gap sometimes. But when you were talking about managing your own money, Bethany, do you feel like that's what other people think, that because you're a woman that it's harder for you to manage your own money? Is that what you were getting at?
That is one direction I was getting at, but really we're coming to anything that's in the way. Well, yeah, that is one example, mostly. And yes, that's what I said about the man's world, but we're coming to females, of why I was just saying like something, because for females, in order to be equal, that's when the man can really be like a nightmare to the female, because they don't take us seriously. And that's when I was talking about people with foreign languages, or just the best of both worlds, like say people with disabilities and a really hard to understand quirk that can really kind of mess it all up, or anything that's just the reason I just said about the female area. Yes, I know it's pretty complicated for men too, because we're all equal, and well, that's all I can say.
Well, it's interesting. So I'm hearing you say that like somebody who's speaking a foreign language and has a strong accent, or that it sounds like what you're saying is that like, so for some people it's hard if they think it's hard, like, so you're saying a man might look at a woman managing her own money and not take her seriously. That's the phrase I heard you use. Or like listen to somebody with a really strong accent and not take them seriously. That there's something preventing that connection. I do think that there's a lot of evidence for that. I think
Yes.
I think when we're talking about, men thinking women can't manage their money, we're not talking about all men, right?
Oh,
no,
yes.
no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But and when I heard Bethany say, we're all equal, what's interesting is like we can say that we're all equal as much as we want, but unless that's the way everyone experiences life, it's not really true.
That really reminds me, because do you remember how we're talking about what songs mean sometimes?
Yeah.
Well, one of them from Mamma Mia, like she sings the song of, like money, or how Bethany is saying like is about the money, or how it's going to be in the man's world. And it really feels like I'm hearing that song in my head. So
I am pretty sure the title is looking for is money, 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 and that's some of the lyrics from the song, because Mamma Mia is not just a song title itself. It's also a play and or a movie. It's equal because, well, that is what she thinks. And
a play, a movie, some would say a way of life. Mamma Mia.
or a musical. So
Yes. Okay, so that's a good example. Let's regroup a little bit and talk about transportation. So Bethany, how do you get around town?
Okay. First, it was the bus, and if though as the fun as much that was fun, it was kind of hard and a little bit difficult because once you know what was hard, you can think of the cognitive differences. You can go to XXY, and yet that is one way mostly.
So using Accessoride, if you have a disability, you can call Accessoride, which is part of the RTD bus system, but they'll come and pick you up right at your house.
Right.
So is that what you were used to in the past?
I'm listening what kind of stuff because that I have been using, like say the light wheel, but XXY. And if you're not with that kind of comfortable, you can go with the yes, you can go with the provider. So I'm kind of sticking to the provider thing because not as much as you can do that by yourself, but but that's one of the only answers that I can actually can think of right now.
Okay, so having a provider pick you up at your house, take you where you're going, compared to walking out your front door, going to a bus stop, taking the bus, taking the light rail. So you're not using those types of transport right now.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. I think this has been super helpful. And then housing. Where do you live, Bethany?
I'm not giving out my address.
No, don't give out your address.
No.
Keep it to yourself. We don't want all the fans showing up on your front yard.
I'm not actually that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying my address number. I'm just saying that I live in Denver, Colorado.
Perfect. But with whom do you live?
My provider is my parents.
There you go. Okay. So when you're talking about your provider before doing transportation, did you mean, is that your parents, the provider?
Yes.
Got it. So just to clarify, there is another kind of funding that comes through that you can access, right? That so comes through your provider. So if your parents are your provider, then you're getting a certain amount of money every month from your disability, right? It's called the disability. It's your SSDI. Is that what you're getting? Social Security and Disability. Oh gosh, you think I should know this stuff, but it's not actually really my area. But basically, you get a certain amount of money every month that is supposed to help support you, right?
Right.
And then that's coming into, it's in your name, but your parents are helping you manage that?
Yes, and I'm helping in the financial area because once you are someone with the 3 children cognitive understanding level, you can help with rent. So I'm helping.
Oh, you're paying part rent?
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. I'm sure your parents are thrilled. How does it feel to be able to pay rent?
Good.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's cool. Okay. Next question. What do you think is your special gift?
As much as it is a list anyways, even though I can say 3 or more, but since we're doing exactly have time to go down, I'd have to say love, being energetic.
Being angelic?
Angelic.
I'm actually, I was going to say energetic.
Energetic, thank you. I was going to say you're no
using
angel,
energy.
girl.
Even though I'm like energetic, okay, like being an angel, even though I kind of got that down.
So, but love, being energetic.
I can be happy. There was something about being autistic, and okay, basically, yeah, there is a huge list, but
That's okay. I mean, we don't need to have just one gift, right? Being artistic, being happy,
being playful. If I'm going to talk about something on the self, one person, I say I'm adorable.
So you don't like it when people call you cute too often, but you are adorable.
Yeah.
We're all allowed to have confusing little paradoxes about ourselves, right? Two things can be true at the same time. We can be annoyed being called cute and still be adorable. Well, that's awesome. And I agree. I think those are definitely some of your special gifts that I've experienced, at least. Last opportunity here, Bethany, is instead of me asking you a question, I want to give you an opportunity. Do you have any questions for me or for Faith?
Okay, so all the together question of Andrea and Faith, what special gift do you two have?
What special gifts do we have?
You go first.
Okay.
You always pick a fruit.
I think one of the special gifts that I have, I think when I think about my special gifts, I think a lot of times they kind of have similar themes. They come back to like the same kind of areas, but one of them for me is about helping people feel, how do I want to say this? Having people feel like they have the courage to share who they really are. So I think part of that can be like inspiring people. It can be supporting people, empowering people. But I think I have a gift for making people feel like it's going to be okay if they just stop hiding, kind of like come out a little bit, be their authentic self, that it's going to be okay. And that in fact it's necessary. So I think that's one of them. I have a gift for vision. You know, I'm an artist. I identify as an artist first and foremost, and I, you know, am a creative person. That's how I interact in the world, and so I think part of my special gift is that I think I'm good at seeing and perceiving what the world can be, and then figuring out what the steps are that as a world we have to take if we're going to get there together. Yeah, that's what comes to mind first of all, and also peer pressure. I'm really good at convincing people to do shit. It's all part of the same theme, like I said. What about you, Faith?
Well, I have to say, for me, I support people. I like to help people. I live by myself, so I feel life skill maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know what to do in life, just being who I am, and just help, any kind of people, like homeless people or like people with disability, like including this Wayfaring band, of course. So it makes me feel comfortable with that. So.
Well, between the three of us, it's like, so if we're inspiring people, helping people, and then being energetic and happy, like we're going to have a lot of fun hanging out.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Bethany, that is all the time we have for today, but thank you so very much for joining us for the Everybody In podcast. We have really enjoyed having you.
Well, thank you to you too.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming. Everybody, we really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll check in with you next time.
See ya.
Au revoir.
Everybody In is sound engineered by Karen Hibner with original music by The Dosage. It is produced by the Wayfaring Band, a Denver-based 501c3 nonprofit specializing in life skills and leadership training through travel for adults with and without disabilities. Be sure to rate us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ta-ta for now.